What's going on, YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yapatees. This is your review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So we pick up where we left off, and you have Kimmy saying to Wanda, have whatever energy you want, but it ain't gonna be no more bees in here. Wanda says pretty much, you call me out. And it's like, no, she just addressed you. It ain't calling you out because you the one talking about some, you ain't finna talk to anybody that don't buy shoes that come in the box, and you called them the B words. You came in on one. You even came at Kimmy, and Kimmy didn't even do nothing to you. Kimmy didn't even say nothing about Letitia. So, yeah, no, you came for her, and she pretty much just readdressed you, and you just didn't like that. So, Kimmy says, I didn't. All I said is, we gon' simmer down with the bees. I ain't gotta say it twice. Wanda says, everyone be quietly. Now, look, I know it's not nice or right to sit here and, comment somebody's dialects and everything else, but I'm sorry. That was funny when she said, everybody be quietly. And then she said, shut the, F up. Then she apologizes for her energy, but she said what she said and meant what she said. And Kimmy said, and I meant what I said. Like, I said it the first time. I ain't gotta say it twice. I gotta repeat myself. I said what I said, and that's just that on that. Wanda walks away and says, who's next? Nothing comes of that, but that lets you know that when it comes to tongue wrestling, she didn't want to do it with Kimmy. Which I don't know why she even initiated with Kimmy, but okay, just is what it is. Let me see. So Marceau pulls Maurice to the side and, says the person causing Tisha pain is Wanda. It's not the world. Marceau is tired of Wanda. Now, he's partially right and partially wrong. He's partially right because when it comes to this show, she is the one that is consistently bringing up these issues, right? But here's the other thing. We don't know what it is that he's doing behind the scenes or whatever, but you're obviously doing something that is causing these things to come, to the forefront. And not just that, blame your good friend Martell. And yes, a fight video did come out. We don't know who it was with, but talk to him, Martell, because Martell was the one that initially brought it to the show, and then from there it was Wanda every chance she got, continuing to perpetuate it. So I'm just saying, let's call a thing a thing, but you also have to acknowledge the part in which you play, right? Right. Um, so then Maurice says, because this has gone on for so long, it will be hard to establish boundaries. He's not talking about Marceau establishing boundaries, but Letitia. And to a degree, I do understand it, but to a degree, I don't. Because we're constantly and forever changing. You could sit here and do that. Just how when last season Tisha decided that she pretty much was going to redo her relationship with Kimmy to where, it's not always going to be me contacting you. You're going to have to sit here and contact me some. You can do that with your mother. Now, did I write it down? I don't think I wrote it down. Okay, wait, I don't see it in my notes, but no, it came later. It came later. Never mind, I did write it down. So what you see is you see Wanda looming in the background, watching over her daughter, almost like she's, the devil, just, peeping the scene, ready to sit here and pounce. And we know she's drunk. We know. And again, I'm not one to sit here and talk about people being drunk because, hey, I'm a drunk. So I'm not even finna do that to her, but just didn't look good. And it's just the imagery that wasn't sitting right for me. So Maurice tells Marceau, that he might want to iron these things out. The issues with him and Wanda, the issues with Kiki, and also like you might want to iron all this out before the Atlanta trip, so it doesn't bleed over. There isn't, Letitia wondering what's going on, and Wanda also sitting here playing detective. Marceau tells him he and Tisha are good. Maybe you believe that, sir, but okay. Anyway, moving on. So we get Mel and Mama Vanessa. Mel is rebranding and launching her skincare line. Mama Vanessa's proud of her. And again, I'm all for, people making their money, especially when it's not at the detriment of nobody else. Mel says that the people she wants there will be at the event. And that's just how it should be, you know. And granted, I already watched the episode, so there was no repeats of when the initial launch happened of people being escorted out by security. So, all right. And you know, she's changing her last name, and in addition to that, also leaving things behind. So all of this is just symbolizing her leaving stuff behind and starting anew. We get Kimmy and Tiffany. Tiffany children did not win the soccer game because if y'all remember, Tiffany and Lou was just at Jalen's housewarming for a minute before they had to go to the soccer game. So there's that. Kimmy says now that the housewarming is over, we ain't doing no more celebrates. Okay, like my son is full grown. I done did this for him. You did it for the show, Kimmy, but I done did this for him. I ain't got no more to do. He on his own. Um, because you know, empty nesters now, except for the fact that I believe Maurice's son is still living with them. But I'm just saying. So Stormy and Destiny, that situation is being rehashed between the two of them. Kimmy then lets us know that she passed her broker exam and they have started, you know, a firm together. Her and Maurice. I wonder if we're going to see anything come of this. I mean, so we're hearing about it, but are we going to see anything come of it? Tiffany brings up wanting the baby and, you know, the Utah trip. We don't care about you in this baby plot line. I'm just, because my thing is, if it was really for real, we would see some action. And we're not seeing it. It's just a whole lot of talk, so whatever. Then Tiffany brings up, oh, I already said that. So then the ATL trip comes up, and Kimmy doesn't think that this trip is a good idea. Because she even mentioned, like, well, myself and Maurice didn't know about it. I'm not sure if Maurice didn't know, but she said they didn't know about it. They found out at the same time. She just don't think it's a good idea. It's probably not a good look given everything that has going on. And also the dust has not yet settled from the last trip, even though that was years ago. We get Martell. He is meeting with a tutor for him to get his build, like for him to get help taking the builder's exam. And I'm just like, praise God, because all of us content creators been saying the same thing. Like, dude, when you gonna do it? So look, let's all hold imaginary hands, you know, through the atmosphere and just pray that this man can pass this. So we ain't even got to go down this road no more. The tutor asks him, you know, what is his fire? And he says he has a house that he wants to build. And she pretty much just saying, like, when it comes to stuff like this, you need to have a passion. You need to have a fire. Because even when you don't feel like studying all this other stuff, it's going to be that passion, that fire that's going to drive you to do what you need to do and to help you pass. So, good stuff there. So we get Melody Skincare relaunch 7th Avenue, and I want to say we saw fellow content creator Miss Bonded Blue. I think they showed her twice, and she was looking very, very good. I'm gonna stop there because I don't want Lyric to come whoop my ass. But it was nice to see her. It's always great when a content creator who is in the same like space as you know, gets time like that. So that is a beautiful thing. And look, Bonnie has been putting in the work, so hey, she deserves that. So again, she was there. We knew she was there, but the fact that Carlos, you know, gave us 2 clips of her, that was a great thing. I enjoyed that. Stormy and Tiffany catch up. Stormy says, you know, she doesn't hold grudges. Okay, I mean, if you say so. At one point, Stormy and Kiki speak to each other, but Stormy is acting as if Kiki isn't talking to her. It's just kind of like really playing her to the left. And Stormy tells us in her confessional she don't really mess with people who would do their family the way that Kiki did hers, which you have every right to feel that way, but I feel like more of that is just, you know, I don't really know what to say. But if that's the case, I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but probably a conversation more or less should be had between you and Kiki, especially when up until this point, you've shown yourself to be nothing but friendly towards her. So Kiki talks to Stormy, but Stormy is ignoring her. And then Kiki starts talking about Stormy as if Stormy isn't there, though Stormy is there. And I'm like, this is the type of petty that I like. Because her whole thing is like, I didn't think we had an issue, but you know, let Stormy tell it. Ain't no problem. So Melody is, we see on her name says Melody Cherie. And if I'm not mistaken, Cherie is her middle name. I think Rogers is her main name, but it's no longer Melody Holt on the screen. So we get a 7th Avenue demonstration, which is good. You know, hey, let them see what it is and whatnot. And like the whole layout and presentation was great and very tasteful. I just find it to be interesting that did none truly pop off at Mill's event, but I guess everybody want to sit here and toe the line with the one of the executive producers. Kiki wants to talk to Kimmy to make sure things are good between them because with the Galentines and the phone call, it just didn't seem that way. Kimmy is asked if she said anything negative. And yeah, Kimmy asks, I'm sorry, Kimmy asked Kiki if she felt she said anything negative. Kiki said no. And the talks were in confidence. Now, when she said in confidence, baby girl, this was being shot on a television show. Ain't no confidence. Even if it was just regular everyday life without a camera, I can understand that. Ain't no confidence. There's a camera there. 9 times out of 10, this is going to be shown. So it's just like, no, ain't no confidence. Kimmy challenges that, and Kiki said, well, the way it was brought back. And Kimmy says, you don't know how it was brought back, but you're sure of how she took it, which is understandable. And that is the truth. Like, you can only assume how I brought the message, but you weren't there. The only thing you are sure of is this is how she took it, and this is how she's coming at you. That is it. That is all. Um, And then Kimmy says, all I said was one, she wasn't sure why she was there and not Tisha. And before Kimmy could finish her statement, Kiki interjects and says she doesn't know why people are surprised. Now, a lot of the time when people do this, because again, I say this on a lot of my videos. People hear to respond, not listen to understand. So it's clear that she's only hearing her to respond to something else. And a lot of times, not all the time, when people do that, it's because they're either like they may be guilty, they don't want to really address things, so they're going to continue to try to shift the conversation and move it off course. So you start in one state and you like 3 states over and don't know how you got there and forgot originally what you were talking about. I don't think that was the case, but I still felt like Kiki should have let Kimmy say everything what she had to say and then rebuttal. But again, she asks, why do people feel that? And Kimmy says, okay, well, look, I've been here 4 years and haven't seen you at anything. And Kiki says, she would not do the elementary stuff of because this person don't like this person, I can't come. And with a lot of what has come out on social media, even though I don't keep up with a lot of what they do on social media, she has shown that a lot of the big events that Mel has had, she was invited to, and rather than just being upfront and saying, hey, because there's issues going on between you and my cousin, I'm just choosing to not come, making up excuses, just to like keep everything down. But it's like, I've been invited, I just didn't come. And of course, it was said that Mel knew Kiki before she knew Letitia, so there's also that. Kimmy says, Kimmy lets her know that wasn't the time, the place, but in particular the audience for her to say any of that about Tisha. Kimmy claims Kiki said she was there when all this was going on, and Kiki said no. I said there were conversations, which to Kiki's defense, that is it. And I know some people might be like, well, that's semantics. Not necessarily. Sometimes it is semantics, but other times when you sit here and change a word, move words around and whatnot, you can change the entire meaning of what somebody was saying. So I do see Kiki trying to defend herself, and then you have Kimmy saying it's on film, which this is definitely a fourth wall break. But one thing about Carlos King Productions, I know it's Carlos, I think it's King Rain, something like that, is they don't mind breaking the fourth wall of this is on film, what was said at the reunion. And again, I enjoy that aspect of it because on Bravo they don't do those talks, and if they do, is cut out. So, but her saying it's on film, pretty much like, okay, well, I hear what you said, but it's going to be played back, which it is, and they did play back in that scene. But Kimmy is just standing 10 toes down on how she feels. I just kind of didn't like how the conversation happened, but hey, it is what it is. And Kiki doesn't want the verbiage to be misconstrued, which is pretty much what I just said. And to go ahead and end this, we got Kiki, Marcel, Tisha, and Maurice having dinner. So the housewarming is rehashed. Wanda comes up in conversation. Tisha says she cannot control her mom. And it's like, no, you can, because you can set boundaries. And also, you are on this TV show, and for what it's worth, Wanda only comes on as an extension of Letitia, meaning if Letitia makes it clear she don't want the filming to happen, then if other people don't want to film with Wanda either, Wanda's no longer on the show. It's really just that simple. And she's asked, what can she do? And Kimmy says, ban her. Because in essence, I kind of just, because I wrote that in my note, TV, and then she said, ban her. I'm just like, well, we're kind of on the same wavelength. Marcel says, as a protector, and I'm paraphrasing, if evil is afoot, he will take care of business and then pretty much ask for forgiveness later. Meaning that if Wanda, and I think he also meant Kiki, but if Wanda continues to do what she's doing, he gonna put his foot down. He gonna say and do what he needs to do. And when it's all said and done, I could just look to her and just ask for forgiveness later because she forgives me anyway. Tisha brings up her mom having a food tasting. Marcel and Kimmy's asking, like, are you funding it? He's like, look, we have our thoughts and our prayers with her because he's saying ain't no funds. But Marcel and Kimmy don't believe it. Kiki comes up in conversation, and Tisha says, she's dealt with this the best way that she knows how, and asks them for advice. And the advice that I would have given is, the two of you, y'all parents, need to do counseling. The parents, and then you two as cousins, and then y'all need to do collective counseling, all four of y'all. So y'all can get past this hurdle, because the reality is that y'all really don't have too much of an issue with each other. It's y'all allowing y'all parents to sit here and influence how y'all interact with each other. That would have been the advice, honestly. But Kimmy's advice, I understand too, because I kind of feel that way. And Kimmy pretty much just like, hold on, wait, because what did she say? She says she doesn't know. She also doesn't know their history. But from what she's seen, she wouldn't be around that. But she gets that as family. And that I also understand, where if there ain't no reconciliation, if nothing's going to come of it, I'm just going to distance myself, and I just ain't got nothing to do with you. I've always said, anything that jeopardizes my joy, peace, or happiness, I am snip, cutting it. Marcel doesn't feel that Tisha should have apologized for whatever it was that was shared to Mel and Martell, because had they not shared it, which it's allegedly she had bed bugs, that it would fracture the relationship that they had with the Holtz. Marcel then tells us that whatever conversation that Kiki is saying that they had is very misleading, because what happened is Mel talked to Kiki about him, and then Kiki talked to Letitia about what she was told, and that was just a monologue. It was never a dialogue, a conversation between those two. Marceau says he's going to tell Kiki this ain't what you want, and he has no sympathy for someone who is coming for his marriage. Now, I'm just kind of curious, what was the same energy for Martell? Because it started, and it ain't there no more, but, that's neither here nor there. But look, that's it. That is the review. We almost at 20 minutes, and so, yeah, that's all that I got, y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you for the next review, which will be Love and Marriage DC.